morning, Andrew and John. How are you guys doing?
We are
Doing
good.
well.
We, as radio hosts, are celebrating a win for the Eagles heading to the NFC Championship game. Obviously, you as a reporter, there's no celebration, but let's talk about the Eagles' win from this past Sunday. I do want you to tell your story first, and I know that you are a great journalist and you don't like being a part of the story. I know that. But what was that experience like for you covering a game like that, very reminiscent to the Snow Bowl back in 2013?
Oh, just in terms of the snow? Yeah, a little bit. That one was much more dramatic. Obviously, it's a lot more snow, and just the way it happened, because I don't think they were expecting anywhere near that amount of snow, and the fact that it was just kind of like a snow bomb. But just dropped all that snow in the field, and just the way it happened, to me, it was a little more dramatic. This, obviously, the stakes were higher, so, maybe it adds to the folklore of the moment, and especially the Saquon Barkley 78-yard touchdown run. And obviously, as a journalist, I try to remain as neutral as possible, but, the NFL Films shot and the music that they play of the slow-mo of Saquon running that from a kind of the end zone view.
Yeah, with the flakes falling. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've watched that a few times, and that is definitely poetry in motion. So, I can get why maybe this over years people look back upon this game as a moment, especially if they go on and win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to ask you, Jeff, as far as the weather and the issue of the weather in that game. Do you believe it changed the game in any way? Do you believe it hurt one team over the other?
No, I don't think so. In the first half, it wasn't really much of a factor, right? Although, I think A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were two of the guys that probably, more than anybody we spoke to, or at least I spoke to, that said it factored into the passing game. The Rams probably should have thrown a little more early, but I don't think that really had much to do with the weather. In the second half, you saw down the stretch there, Stafford was able to sling it. Now, they were they were in catch-up mode, so that was pretty much what they had to do, and the Eagles were playing a little bit of prevent defense, so that maybe helped them. But, I guess you could, look, Saquon Barkley can do that, rain, sleet, snow, whatever, perfect conditions. So I don't know if you can definitively say it had a factor.
Jeff, what's the line between the Eagles finding ways to win every single week with this style of play, run first, but also probably admitting that at times they do need to look crisper in the passing offense? There are, of course, a couple of throws that were not made, or when they were made, they were not completed on Sunday. We all see it, but they keep on finding ways to win with this style of play. So what's that line that you can talk to?
Yeah, it's fair. They keep winning this way, and if they keep winning this way all the way to a championship and a parade, then you can look back upon it and just say, okay, hey, this is, you can win in modern football this way, and when your defense is as good as the Eagles is, and when you have Saquon Barkley and an offensive line that run blocks the way it does, then you can get it done. And if you look around the rest of the NFL and even the remaining teams, you're kind of seeing a little bit more of that. I've seen the advanced numbers. Teams are the production is kind of a little more on the run side than versus the pass. But that being said, you want to be a little I hate to use the word balance, but you want to be able to throw it when you need to. And I think that is the valid concern of fans, the Eagles. If you ask them, I know they don't say it as much recently, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, but they feel it, and they believe it, and Jalen does as well. You can't have just 65 yards net passing. I don't care about the weather. I don't care about the A.J. Brown drops. You can't take 63 negative yards and sacks and do that on a weekly basis against as the teams are getting tougher and expect to win. Now, it may happen. And again, I don't think the Chiefs are world beaters. I don't think the Bills are world beaters. We certainly know that the Commanders aren't. But I don't think there's any harm in pointing out that this or that has to may need to happen if the Eagles want to win. And I think that certainly is the case when it comes to the quarterback. It comes to A.J. Brown, who uncharacteristically had a couple of drops, although they weren't simple catches, but those are typically catches that he makes.
Yeah, he's got.
And then also in the play calling with Kellen Moore, I don't think he had one of his better games.
What would if I was to say to you, what are you taking away from the Commanders, the 2 games you played them this year? Since Hurts got injured in the second one, it really sent that game a little haywire. What are the number one things that are on your radar as you look to pre-scout this game? And how much should injuries and injury concern be on our radar?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, it's Jaden Daniels right now. It's the Jaden Daniels show. I mean, he's playing at such a high level that, he can offset what your team may lack when it comes to talent. And I think if you stack these teams up side by side, the Eagles will win at most positions. At quarterback right now, no, they won't. And that could be the great equalizer in this game. And the Eagles are going to have to be very aware of that, obviously. But there's more to the team than Daniels. Obviously, Terry McLaren is a top receiver. Zach Ertz is playing at a high level, even at his advanced age. They have a good run game. They have a lot of diversity in the play calling, and they have a good play caller, Cliff Kingsbury. Defense has some holes in it, but the one thing that I can say about the Commanders, and I think this is where they match the Eagles, and you can't say this about many teams because I think the Eagles are about as physical as it gets. The Commanders play hard. Dan Quinn has that team playing tough physical football for him. So this could be a bloodbath, and we saw it in the last meeting. And these teams don't like each other. Obviously, the stakes are higher now. But so that's one area that I'm certainly focused upon. And then when you talk about injuries, Jalen Hurts is going to play. From what I understand, Quinyon Mitchell is going to play as well. The concern with Hurts, clearly with the knee, is if he's not 100%, he's going to be limited in the run game, and then all of a sudden the Commanders are going to pick up on that, and that makes it a little harder for Saquon Barkley. Look, Saquon Barkley and his offensive line can get it done without Jalen at quarterback, but as you saw in the last game versus the Commanders when Hurts left and Pickett was in there. Now, Saquon's 68-yard touchdown run came with Kenny at quarterback, but that second half, I think the last 22 carries he had, he only gained 41 yards. I mean, They keyed in on him, and they figured out that, Pickett's not keeping the ball and running. And if Jalen can't do that on Sunday, then, it makes this run attack a little more one-dimensional.
Jeff, we appreciate the time as always, man. Thank you. Hopefully next week when we're talking to you, it's about making plans for New Orleans. We appreciate the time as always, man.
But thanks, guys.
Jeff's right. Jeff's minus Hurricanes.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I cleared it with him the
but
other
he
day.
goes regardless. I don't think
he's going.
I don't think we're going regardless.
Yeah, Hurricanes. No,
we're not doing that.
Just work for Jeff McLane.
Thanks, Jeff.
We appreciate it.
All right, talk to you guys.
There he is, Jeff McLane.
Hey guys, Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, When John's Being an Idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.